Welcome to the channel, and in this video I wanted to do something a little different and show my Mortal Kombat video game collection. I wanted to make this video to coincide with the new movie, but that's now been pushed 6 months, but at least we still have the Legacy collection coming out pretty soon. Mortal Kombat is one of my favorite franchises, and I have most of the games, but enough talking and let's get into the video. First up is the original Mortal Kombat for the Super Nintendo. We had a Super Nintendo, and I didn't really know that many people that actually had a Sega Genesis. This was the only game in the original series that I could actually beat, mainly for how simple it was, and it wasn't until the 3D era where I actually started to learn how to do combos and special moves and fatalities. All I did back then was just jump kicks and uppercuts, and that's enough to beat this game, but not enough to beat Mortal Kombat 2 or 3. I can still have fun playing this game and have fond memories of playing it as a child. Next is Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super Nintendo, and while I never beat this game as a kid because I could never get past Kintaro, I still had a lot of fun playing it. It introduced so many great characters like Kitana, Shao Kahn, Mileena, Jax, Baraka, and Kung Lao. Also, my favorite color is green, so I have a soft spot for Reptile. Also, these cartridges are my original copies from when I was a kid. I fortunately kept everything and never had the urge to sell any of my old games. Next up is Mortal Kombat 3 for Super Nintendo, and this one actually never really came close to beating it. I still had fun playing it and was always interested in what new characters were going to be in the game. And since there was no Johnny Cage, I would always play as Cabal or Nightwolf or even Stryker. I know Stryker isn't a beloved character, but I don't know, I thought he was pretty cool as a kid, and looking back in retrospect, he clearly wasn't well liked because he didn't appear in another mainline entry till Armageddon, and that's because every Mortal Kombat character was in that game. Next up is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and I definitely wasn't too in the weeds to know the differences between this and regular MK3. The only differences I noticed were that there were more characters. Scorpion was never a favorite character of mine, but it's crazy he was left out of the original MK3 version, given how popular and integral that character is to the series. This version also has one of my favorite ninjas with Ermac. I really grew to like that character in MK Deception. Also, suffice to say, I never beat this game growing up either. They didn't make this version any easier, well, for me at least. And next up is MK Trilogy for the PlayStation 1. I never had this game growing up, and I don't really remember seeing it in stores. Maybe I did and thought it was just a re-release of the first 3 games, but I wish I was wise enough to know that it's not that. It's basically the ultimate version of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. My boy Johnny Cage is back in this, and you can play as the boss characters from the first 3 games. I haven't played this game much, and I'm excited to play it again now that it's included in the Legacy collection. Next is MK4 for the PS1. This is my second copy of the game because my original copy was all scratched up. I probably played this MK game the most when I was a kid. My boy Johnny Cage was back, and I loved beating the tower so I could watch the cutscene endings with the terrible voiceovers.
Wait, this is brutality! You can't do it! Wrong, Jarek. This is not a brutality. This is a fatality.
This game is significantly easier to beat. Plus, I had the strategy guide, so I was finally able to pull off some special moves and fatalities. I know this game might not be beloved, but it's pretty sentimental to me. It ranks pretty high for me because I have so many fond memories playing it as a kid, and I'm excited to play it again with the Legacy collection, although I'm sure I'll get destroyed if I attempt to play this game online. Next is the MK debut on the PS2. This game was highly anticipated for me. I was reading gaming magazines like GamePro that were hyping up this release. It was the debut of one of my favorite fighters with Kenshi, the blind swordsman with telekinetic abilities. Plus Johnny is back, but I was pretty gutted during the opening cutscene where Shang Tsung and Quan Chi kill Liu Kang by snapping his neck.
Liu Kang is dead.
I really like the 3D era, and that has a lot to do with me being a more competent gamer, so I had a better understanding of how to actually be a better fighter. I do need to get another copy of this game because not having the game manual is fucking with my OCD. Next up is the premium edition of Mortal Kombat Deception. I pre-ordered this game at GameStop back in the day, and it might have been like the first video game collector's edition I ever bought. Also, I don't even think I knew what was special about this release. I got upsold by the GameStop employee, but I'm glad I did because this is a really cool release. I'm surprised there weren't 2 different variants, like one Scorpion edition and one Sub-Zero edition. I still would have chosen this version. I lean more towards Sub-Zero than Scorpion. It's a 2-disc set with 1 disc detailing the history of the franchise with key creators, along with them detailing all the various origins of the fighters. Also on that disc is a playable version of the original Mortal Kombat. Also included is a metal trading card for Kuai Liang Sub-Zero. The second disc is the standard version of Deception. This game's Conquest mode was a huge step up over the version in Deadly Alliance. Still has some pretty bad voice acting though. I also like the addition of chess combat. It's a fun game mode that allows you to pick a team of your favorite fighters, and it's way more fun than playing actual chess. Next is the Midway Arcade Treasures collection for the PSP. This collection has the first 3 mainline entries of Mortal Kombat. The version of MK3 is just the original version, no Ultimate version unfortunately. The PSP is probably my favorite handheld, with the PS Vita being a close second. So it was pretty cool to go back and play the original games again, especially now that I understood how to play these games. I still find MK2 and MK3 to be very difficult. Fighting Shao Kahn makes me want to rage quit every single fucking time. I've really only played the MK games in this collection, but I have gone back and played some Rampage. Next is Mortal Kombat Unchained, which is mainly just a port of Deception to the PSP, but it does include characters that weren't in Deception, like Katana, Jax, Frost, and Blaze. It plays pretty identical to the home console, except the PSP is missing a few buttons, so the controls are a little different. Everything else is pretty much here, like Conquest Mode, Chess Combat, and Puzzle Combat. This is the only port they made for the PSP. Armageddon or Shaolin Monks never made their way on the PSP, unfortunately. I would have really loved a portable version of Shaolin Monks, but it's still cool if the PSP got at least one MK game for it. Next is a 3-pack that came with Deception, Shaolin Monks, and Armageddon. I got this at Walmart probably 10 years ago. I lost my copy of Shaolin Monks, and my copy of Armageddon stopped working because it would always freeze at the character selection screen. It was pretty odd that Walmart was selling this 3-pack for a console from 2 generations ago at that time. They were also selling a 3-pack of the GTA games as well, which I also picked up.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Pretty sure these sets were only $20 too, which is a pretty good fucking deal. Shaolin Monks is one of my favorite Mortal Kombat games. I'm more of a single-player story kind of guy. I wouldn't dare try my luck online because I would get my ass kicked. So a game that changes it up and is more of an action-adventure beat-em up, and it's not just your standard fighting game, so that appeals to me more. The story is pretty cool, and since this game isn't canon, each boss fight ends with a brutal fatality. I never beat this back in 2005. I could never defeat Shao Kahn until earlier this year. I played this game again, and I finally defeated Shao Kahn. It was one of the finest moments in my entire pitiful life. Armageddon was a game I was really hyped for since it included every single fighter that's ever been in an MK game. I didn't put a whole lot of hours into this game because, as I mentioned, my game would crash whenever I got to the character selection screen. So I was looking forward to replaying it when I got this 3-pack, and I forgot how they got rid of fatalities and replaced them with this weird creative fatality, which is just you performing a series of dismemberments. Not really a fan of that, but Conquest Mode is fun and feels a little like Shaolin Monks. It's way more streamlined than it was in Deception. Also, Mortal Kombat is actually kind of fun, and this game has one of the best opening cutscenes of any Mortal Kombat game, or any game really. A few years ago, after I bought that 3-pack, I came across the Premium Edition Steelbook on eBay. I don't know what I was looking up when I came across this, but I don't ever remember seeing this when the game was first released, and unlike the Premium Edition for Deception, this actually does have variants. There's one with Kano and Sonya on the cover, another with Shao Kahn and Sindel, but if there was one that I needed to have, it was going to be the one with Johnny Cage on the cover. The contents are similar to Deception, with one of the discs documenting the backstory of all the characters in the game. I think some of the videos actually might have been some of the same ones from Deception. The history of fatalities is pretty cool, and they get honest about some fatalities that they might have slacked on from previous games. This edition also comes with a playable version of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Oh, and I also forgot to mention in Shaolin Monks you can unlock a playable version of MK2. Also packed in this edition is an animation cell of the artwork from the cover. These premium editions are going for a pretty penny now, and I'm glad I found this at a reasonable price. Next up is Mortal Kombat vs. DC. I don't know what happened to the case for this, but I had some fun playing this game. Yes, it sucks that you can't do fatalities and that they tuned down the violence for a teen rating. I would also say that this is inferior to the Marvel vs. Capcom games, but this game does get 5 stars for having Green Lantern in it, since he's my favorite DC character. Next is MK9, and this is my favorite Mortal Kombat game. I love the story mode, and that's what I love about these games. It's the deep lore and seeing all the events unfold in this new alternate timeline, and getting to experience the story firsthand instead of reading some text or watching a cutscene after completing a tower. Plus, this game is packed with content, with the challenge towers, and it brought back 2v2. Also, the roster is just fucking great, with the inclusion of pretty much every classic MK character. To further prove my love for this game, I bought it again. This version of the game came with an exclusive character with Kratos from the God of War games, and for some reason the 360 version never wound up getting any exclusive character for that console. Apparently there were talks to have Master Chief, or I think Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. Anyway, I bought this game again during COVID, and I just had a blast replaying the story mode, and I even grinded to unlock everything in the crypt. And here is my third copy of MK9. Pretty sure I bought this the same day I actually got my VITA. It has all the downloadable characters, including Kratos. Also, the touchscreen controls make fatalities super easy to pull off. All you have to do is swipe the screen. The challenge towers also make use of the various features of the VITA as well. The graphics did take a little bit of a hit, but it's not a big deal. I'm just stoked that I can play my favorite Mortal Kombat game on the go. Next is MKX for the PS4. I waited on buying the game because I'm not really a multiplayer kind of guy, so I don't need to play this on day one and figure out who is my top choice for a fighter and get a head start on future players. The story in this game is pretty good, and it was nice to see some maturity from Johnny Cage. Also, I kind of like the inclusion of QuickTime events in the story mode, and I was glad my boy Kenshi was included in the story. I double dipped on MKX because it was super cheap and I wanted to play through the story again and help boost my gamer score, baby. The guest characters are pretty cool. They all fit the tone of Mortal Kombat with Alien, Predator, Jason Voorhees, and Leatherface. I wish they brought back Freddy Krueger from MK9 so we can have Freddy versus Jason, but at least we got Alien vs Predator. Also, it was cool to see the character of Tremor make his debut after only being in the MK Special Forces game. Next is the Steelbook for MK11. I pre-ordered this thinking it would include all future DLC, and I was dead wrong about that. This only came with the first combat pack, and I think there were 2 more after this. Plus, there was a story expansion, so I sink a lot more money into this game than I would have liked, and I should have just been patient like I was with Mortal Kombat X. Also, I don't like that NetherRealm is doing all these stupid microtransactions, making unlocking everything a fucking chore. I mean, you could grind for hours and hours, or just give them money to unlock everything in a quick fashion. It kind of killed my enthusiasm for the franchise. So that's my entire MK video game collection. Obviously, I'm missing a few games like MK Mythology Sub-Zero, Mortal Kombat Gold, MK Special Forces, and the latest game Mortal Kombat 1, because I'm still yet to get a new console, but luckily, the Legacy Collection will be available for last gen. Let me know if I should do more videos like this, maybe one on the Tony Hawk series, or maybe my wrestling game collection. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a movie time.
The Black Dragon died with Kano. You're the last one, Jarek.
Never!